That kind of dovetails into my next question about the obstacles that hold people back from taking their idea and turning it into income. What do you think are the biggest obstacles?
Themselves. I would say, because I know I've been my greatest obstacle. I make these stories up about what's true and what's not true, and the stories come from a place of fear. It's like I have this preconceived notion again about what the truth is, and the reality is many times it's a false story that we tell ourselves. But I think the greatest obstacle is that we're afraid of failing on one side, and then on the other side, there's this fear of success, because if we succeed, I think the truth of the matter is sometimes we'll say, am I really as good as they think I am? And there's such a thing called the Imposter Syndrome. There was actually studies done on how many people feel like they're an imposter, and interestingly enough, middle-aged white males in executive positions have this syndrome to the nth degree. They often wonder, are they going to get busted for not knowing as much as people think they do? And in reality, they do know it, but it's this fear of, oh my gosh, what if somebody pulls my covers and I'm not who they think I am? So I think that not believing enough in ourselves can really hold us back. And one of the things I always recommend to my clients is write out a success journal and look at the different times that you've had successes in your business, and use that as kind of a benchmark of where you've been, where you are, and where you possibly could go. So that's one level of what holds us back, is not really knowing how good we are. And if you don't feel like you're as good as what you're charging, then get some training, get a mentor, get coaches, but do what you need to do to really be congruent with whatever it is you're charging with what you're delivering. And my philosophy is always over-deliver. Now, it's interesting because sometimes you can over-deliver and the other person won't think you're over-delivering because you're not really explaining how much effort is going into what you're doing. And it's not that your client should know every little detail of what you're doing, but they do need to know that there is effort involved in what you're doing. So that would be another thing. But a big one is not really knowing how to find business. I think one of the greatest challenges people have that holds them back is having a fear or a preconceived notion about what marketing is. They oftentimes think of marketing and sales as the used car salesman down the street that is going to try to run them for a scam. That's not really what marketing is. Marketing is having the ability to influence someone's decision for what's most appropriate for them, which means that there will be times you have to tell somebody no because they're not the best fit for what you have to offer. Another thing that holds people back would be not identifying their market, not being clear on who you want to do business with, who wants to do business with you, and who would be the greatest fit for your expertise. So there's really a number of factors of what hold people back, but I really believe the number one factor is fear of being rejected. And those of us who are succeeding, we love rejection. It's like, reminds me of when I was a kid in school. I got rejected a lot, and I just turned that into something positive in my business. But quite seriously, you are going to get rejected. But the rejections actually go down the more you figure out who your niche market is. A lot of times where the rejection comes from is the fact that we haven't done our homework or we haven't positioned ourselves in the marketplace. And that's a big thing. You really have to position yourself. And nowadays, with all the competition out there, it's really important to be able to stand apart from the crowd, if you will. And I've talked to some people who say, I don't believe in competition. And my answer to that is, great. That's a great belief to have, but is it serving you? And it's like Dr. Phil says, and how's that working for you? Because we really have to look at what we hold on to and is it serving us? Because many times we say, oh, no, this is the truth, and we want a certain outcome, and if we keep holding on to that truth, is it serving us? So a big factor in getting through that would be really to get some good mentors and coaches, get involved in mastermind groups, and surround yourself with the kind of people that are achieving what you want to achieve and people that can really help you to raise your own bar. Because if we put ourselves in the middle of a group of people and we're at the top of our game and we're the most successful in that group of people, that doesn't challenge us. What you want to do is you want to immerse yourself in groups of people where you really are, you're put to the test and you're forced to stretch yourself, because if you don't, one, you're never going to find out what your greatest potential is. And I think that's another thing that holds people back, is they don't even know what their potential is, and they live as if they've got the rest of their life to do what they're doing. And I know that today could be it for me, and it could be it for all of us. And so I really live in that space of like, okay, if today's the last day, am I making this the best day I can? Am I living with passion? Am I giving my business my all? Am I giving everything in my life my all? So that's kind of a gauge that I use.